Anti-Society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we are checking out chapters 75 and 76 of Tower of God. So, I'm a little bit emotional after what happened in the last chapter, at the very end of the last chapter, because I have had a sneaking suspicion about Rachel for a very long time that I don't trust her. I don't particularly like her. I don't hate her, but I always had an off feeling about Rachel in particular. And after seeing Bomb, do his thing, be good at the whole Shinsu controlling thing and taking down the bull, we had Rachel stand up, which should not be possible, and push him out of their bubble of protection. And he is currently sinking into the water. And I have a lot of feelings, and I am just coming off of that chapter. So if I continue to have a lot of feelings, that's why. I feel frustrated and angry and betrayed on Bomb's behalf. I need to know what happens. Patrons want to know what happens. So we are going to continue with reading this, and I'm going to try and not yell things at my screen. No promises though. So we're gonna have to try and find out why and how Rachel is able to stand up and push Bomb off of their little platform thing that they have in their bubble. I have so many questions, and my brain is just a lot of things mixed up all together. Let's just get into chapter 75 and see if we can get ourselves some answers, or at least some comfort that Bomb isn't gonna drown, which is preferable. Where are we now? I spot Rock, because he's very tall and he has a spear. We were in the cavern, right? We were fighting a bunch of the worms and stuff. Going into the tunnels, it looks like, because they have the little fish thingy that the breeder was controlling, interacting with. I think it's like, I don't know, maybe if we can trust the director to be telling the truth, which honestly, can we? I don't know. I feel like I can't trust anyone at the moment though, so maybe that's just my mindset. Okay, we've made it to where the queen is in terms of how they are getting out. I got you. Ew. Maybe back up a little bit more, and it's just gonna be Rachel. Okay, but the fact that Rock is there, I know I just said I feel like I can't trust anyone, but I trust Rock, and I feel like he will be upset and will let Kuhn know that Bomb has not emerged, but they're not gonna know what happened. I'm sure Rachel will come up with some kind of story of what happened to Bomb, but I also feel like Rock will single-handedly fight his way through because Bomb is his turtle. This is a good question, Rock. Why is there only one? I need Kuhn to do that thing where he's really good at putting pieces together with limited information and find out what happened. Oh my gosh. We've talked a lot about how like Bomb is gonna feel betrayed and stuff, and I feel like Bomb is gonna have to process through a lot with Rachel betraying him in this way. Imagine betraying someone that Kuhn cares about. That is terrifying. I would never, ever, ever want to do something that angers Kuhn, because he feels he's not only the kind of person who can come up with a very well thought through revenge plan, but he also seems like the kind of person who remembers things for a very, very long time. And if Kuhn finds out what Rachel did, I think the only thing that will keep Kuhn from going full on like evil villain on Rachel will be Bomb telling him not to do it. So that'll be an interesting thing that hopefully we get to. You can see me, like the little slight bit of glee, I'm sure, in my face, because I'm angry at Rachel at the moment. So the idea of Kuhn going off on her fills me with a little bit of joy. I admit it. I'm not a perfect person. I'm also vindictive, so that was probably also part of it. I have a long memory too. What story is she gonna tell? They do know that the bull is there though, so that's like a good cover-up to be like, the bull ended up killing Bomb or pulling Bomb down under the water and stuff like that. Ugh, they're gonna believe her. Don't believe her. Use a BS detector and don't believe her. Come on, Rock. I know you're smarter than you seem. Come on, guys. Two minds. Work together. Figure out the pieces. Why do I feel like Rock calling Bomb his prey is oddly, like, endearing in this context? I feel like Rock using that as an endearment. I like how Rock is also like, I would like the full story, full details, all of it, please. I guess that is complete. The whole point was to get Rachel through the test, right? It wasn't to get Bomb through. So I guess they did pass. Ooh, epilogue Rachel. Yes, I would like some context on her because I'm feeling a lot of things. No, hang on. Why are we flashing to this point? This better not be us giving up on the test. Somebody go get Bomb. Somebody say your rules don't apply to me and go get him. Ooh, no, is this a flashback? I don't think so, because Rachel's in the chair, but she doesn't have the cloak thing on in the current timeline. I feel like Dorsey and Rock just aren't there. I mean, mood of them just being like, not gonna be part of it. I bet Dorsey's feeling a lot of things because she is very attached to Bomb as like a person, but also like she was so confident that he would be able to stop the bull, and then given the story that they currently have would mean that he didn't. So she had like so much confidence and hope that he'd be able to do it, and then to have those crushed. Kuhn looks pretty upset too, but he just seems like low energy, but I know it's because he's upset. I mean, yeah, when you're kind of going through grief and stuff where it's hard to like empathize with other people because you're already trying to process through your own emotions. At least for me anyway, it's like so much more effort to understand other people's as well, and you can get absorbed in like your own feelings. So you're like, because if you're mourning, you're like not in a position to like comfort others and help them process through their grief and stuff, which is, it's more like you're processing in parallel to each other. If you're like with someone who is going through the same grief and mourning that you're just kind of deciding to process through it like separately but in the same like physical space, at least my experience with it, as opposed to like actually helping someone with it, where it's different when you're like not in that point of grief where you can like actually talk someone through it and help them and comfort them, because you're in a better headspace where you can like empathize with someone and try to process, like try to see where they're coming from. And I feel like since they're all grieving to some degree, especially with like the main friend group of Bomb, that they're probably kind of off on their own, doing their own thing. Shibitsu being the voice of reason, which I think says a lot about what's going on, that like Shibitsu is the most level-headed and like unemotional one, because I feel like Shibitsu a lot of the time, I think he kind of amplifies his emotions. He seems to be a very like emotive person, and I feel like a lot of that is how he wants to be perceived externally, to be kind of, you know, ridiculously outraged or being super jovial and things like that, whereas like he does have a very like logical mind, and he like knows when and where to like be that kind of exaggerated version of himself. And given how everyone is feeling, I like that Shibitsu is in a very like logic, let's deal with the problem, because people like Kuhn can't do that right now. They're not able to like fully think through the future because they were so certain of like what their future was going to be. Like same with Endorsey. Endorsey was like, this is what the future is going to have, is Bomb is going to be able to stop the bull and everything's going to be okay, and I have to be confident about this. Same with like Kuhn, where Kuhn's like, I'm going to go up the tower with Bomb. And now that like very confident image of what the future is gone, and they have to try and consider the alternatives that I'm sure that they didn't want to consider because they wanted their friend to be there. So it's like those two things where you're like grieving losing someone, again has not been confirmed, but they believe they've lost someone, and then also losing the next steps. You feel very lost if a ton of like what your future is having someone with you. It's the same way as like losing someone who's you're very close with, is when they're not there anymore, and they're like such an important piece of how you see your life and how you function in your life, and then suddenly they're not there, and you never consider what it would be like to not have them there because you don't want to think about it. You're like both grieving and trying to figure out what to do. Grief is a very difficult thing, no matter who you are. It doesn't become easier either. Grief is one of those compounding feelings that, I don't know, someone has gotten better at processing through it than I have, then I'm all open for advice, but I'm not that kind of person. Grief only gets more difficult. I think it's especially interesting for their future because they shifted what they were doing. Everyone changed the way that they were going to go through the tests and up the tower because of Bomb. Like their decision was to follow Bomb, and that's why we were doing this test. So not having him there means that like they really do have to completely reevaluate what they're gonna do now, because he was like the capstone of the whole structure. Like Paracool's like, did we actually pass? What happened? I mean, yeah, like this is really what I was talking about like the separation between like the main group of friends for Bomb and then like the people that are just kind of there in the test as well. Is there's the people that are like legitimately grieving, and then there are the people who are just trying to figure out what the next step is gonna be because Bomb isn't there to like lead that. Ooh, okay. Hots. I like that Hots is like, he might not be dead, and I like that frame of thinking. Hots. I like we haven't seen that he is dead. We have not had any kind of confirmation. I like that mindset because that might mean that we do something about finding Bomb. I would like that because he's somewhere. We should find him. Oh, hello, Lororo. Just tensions are a little bit high. I'm sure that Lororo's also somewhat concerned about what happened because the rankers probably know more about what's going on. It's my thing too, okay? Because we have all of our information about Rachel being hurt and stuff through the rankers. If she's not paralyzed and not hurt in the way that they said, did she like make a deal with one of them? Like with Ren? With Hung Sung? With someone else? Like, do they know more about what's going on with Rachel? Do they know more about what's going on with Bomb? I feel like Hung Sung would, because if someone is still like wandering around the floor, I feel like Hung Sung would know. Like, if anyone knows where Bomb is at this current moment, it's Hung Sung. I think they passed the test because it was for Rachel to pass, is the like actual passing the test. It was just that Bomb was like, I'm going to come with her to assist. Yeah, I was like, they passed the test, but I don't know how jovial that'll be for them. I don't know if it seems like a win for them because of what happened with Bomb. Oh, okay, so we actually had to specify. I just assumed that was part of it. Maybe I just assumed that Bomb would have that as part of the deal. Where he's like, even if I can't go up the tower, everyone else can. Just seems like something Bomb would do. I don't believe it. You can say that all you want. I'm in denial. Comfortably in denial. Partly because he's like the protagonist. I mean, I talked about before where I'm like, I guess with such a large cast, you could have Bomb die and then continue the story through someone else's perspective. But also, I feel like we haven't gone through enough of what Bomb is capable of and who he is. Too many things have been foreshadowed. He's still alive. Maybe Lororo thinks that he's dead, has been told that, but I don't believe it. He's still alive. Rachel, I don't know how to feel. I don't know if she's like collapsing because she feels guilt on the whole being a murderer thing, or if she's relieved because Mom's not going to be able to come back and be like, hey, so she did this thing, and everyone would be mad at her. Or if it's part of a deal. Like maybe there were a lot of people who wanted Bomb dead as an irregular. Maybe that was part of the deal, was she had to, if she killed him, then she would be granted something. That seems like a possibility too, especially from Hung Sung. Hung Sung doesn't seem to like Bomb. He doesn't want an irregular on the floor. And look at them all comforting her, taking care of her. They don't even know. She should think that Bomb is dead because of her. You're right, Shibitsu, but we have very different feelings about whether or not that is justified. Okay, but like not seeing Kuhn's face, I want this big because he's putting together some pieces. Come on, Kuhn, I know you've got the mind. I know we're grieving. There's a lot of confusion and stuff. We can just get past that. Use that amazing brain power. Put it all together. I mean, sort of in debt, yes. To help Rachel. Again, nice gesture. Would be great if she hadn't pushed him. I'm like, this is really sweet, but don't do it. And she's probably just gonna accept the help. I hope the guilt eats her up from the inside. They don't even know that she can walk, or she can at least stand up. I like Paracule's like, huh? What? Why? And he's like, yeah, I'll help too. Like Hat's like, no, you're not allowed to be in. Ooh, I like Kuhn's wording there of, it's not, yes, I'll help Rachel. It's, I can't let things end like this. I feel like I gotta read lots of layers into what Kuhn says because he usually knows way more about what's going on. So interesting that he's not like, yeah, I'll help Rachel like the other ones have said before him. He's like, I can't give up on what's going on right now. This isn't the end. And I agree. And the fact that he's like, I will take Rachel to the top of the tower for Bomb. It's not like in place of Bomb. It isn't because Bomb can't. It's the same motivation that he would have had if Bomb was still here, is him saying, I'm going to take Rachel up the tower for Bomb, which is I feel like I want to read more into this because I want Kuhn to be figuring stuff out. He shocked me before too, so I wonder if where Shibitsu is on the thought process, because Shibitsu's got a lot of mind power going on too. So see that look from Kuhn, we've got like both Kuhn and Shibitsu with their backs to the rest of the group. I feel like if anybody can figure out what's going on, it's those two. I'm also wondering whether or not Kuhn like legitimately knows more about what's going on, because like if, let's say hypothetically, until proven otherwise, Rachel did make a deal with Hung Sung or one of the other rankers or whomever, made some kind of deal where if Bomb died during the test, she would be granted, I don't know, use of her legs. Maybe it's the healing that she got. Maybe it was getting some kind of help to more quickly get up the tower or some kind of protection or something. Say she made a deal. Maybe Kuhn knows about it because he knows a little bit of something, so he might have more an idea what's going on. I just want them to find Bomb though. Ooh, good transition from the light, dark. I always like parallel shots like that. Oh, who's coming to visit? It at night in darkness. The redhead girl. That's why we had that moment where she was going towards Hung Sung, I assume, when Evan was going the other way. What does she know? Do they have some kind of plan together? Was that why she was going to see Hung Sung? Or are there other things going on? I feel like she knows about it because of the congrats. I don't want her to be the heroine. Because I was wondering why because the redhead girl like wasn't in the test. And then we saw her going towards Hung Sung. So I feel like there is some kind of deal with Hung Sung of why Rachel betrayed Bomb. Next chapter though. Okay, everyone. Let's see I feel like there's a deal. I feel like that's my thought going in. She's made some kind of deal to either heal herself or get a free pass for part of the tests or something. Oh, okay. We betrayed Bomb and we're just tired. That's where we're at. I'm still upset. I feel like it's obvious, but I'm still upset. Ooh, is this like a flashback to the first chapter when he was like running after her going into the tower? He just wanted to be with you and you were awful to him. It's like from Rachel's perspective, I guess, though. Are we gonna find out where she ended up when she first went into the tower? Because we never actually found out. He's so desperate for her to not leave him. The smirk though, why? I feel like I will overanalyze everything that she does now because I no longer feel as if I am misjudging. Oh, hello. Are we back in Heden's floor? Because he had the artwork in the background and that's where Bomb ended up. So I just feel like Heden probably, I don't know, that they end up on his floor because he's the one who like chooses people who go into the tower. So when people kind of force their way in, Heden probably knows about it. Yeah, see, there he is. Heden was really weird when Bomb came in as well about him wanting to go after Rachel. Someone's doing something. Rachel is taking orders or making a deal with someone, and I just don't know who it is. Fairy. Ooh, fairies are not nice in a lot of mythology. I don't know what it is in Korea, but in Celtic mythology, which I know more about because of Celtic heritage and general obsession with Celtic myths and what have you, don't mess with fairies. Fairies are very selfish and play tricks and pranks, and they are not going to give you anything without it becoming some kind of prank or game, or there being a lot of different angles for it to be bad for you. I feel like that fits Heden though. I feel like that kind of like trickster, entity kind of thing fits with him. Ooh, interesting. That's like a fairy that leads children into the tower. That's very like fairy tale-esque of like fairies would usually lead people, children would lead them to the other world. Otherworld in Celtic mythology isn't like the afterlife or anything like that. It's just like where fairies and she and magical creatures live, the kind of deities of Celtic stories and stuff. But if you pass over into the other world without permission from like one of the deities, specifically the feminine deities, the ones that represent femininity, it usually goes poorly for you. You usually get trapped there, or you end up in the scary parts. So fairies, again, is like trickster spirits would like lead people across those thresholds because it was like putting them in danger, and they found that entertaining. So I like that I don't know how much of that translates to Korean culture, but that's kind of what I'm pulling from, which I also feel like fits Heden. Of you think that you're kind of going to this magical place where like you can get whatever you want, which is like what the tower is. If you can get wishes granted and it's magical and you can meet these wonderful creatures, and then you actually get there and it's awful and hospitable, seems a lot like the tower. Look how like excited she is, where she's like, I am definitely going to get what I want now that I'm in the tower. It's excitement. This is what she's wanted, what she's been striving for, and it's not going to be anything what she pictures it in her head. They don't want Rachel. Do they want Bomb? Do they know that Bomb exists? Again, we don't know why Bomb is. I don't know. You guys probably know, having read this already. I don't know why Bomb was locked up and isolated. Ooh, again, going back to the chosen ones, right? Where it was like Rachel was kind of separating Bomb out, saying, I can go up into these other parts of the world because I'm one of the chosen one, and that kind of a thing. One of the chosen wanting to be one of the chosen in the tower, and Bomb is not. And then if it turns out that the tower wants Bomb but doesn't want Rachel, I think that will probably rub her the wrong way. I don't think it's enough to push him into the abyss, but the abyss, if I can speak. I'm too emotional. Ooh, I like that we're getting the close-up of this drawing too, of like a horned spirit. Again, kind of going into like nature mythology. I think whenever I think like a horned deity kind of creature, I think of like Pan, who's a nature spirit, again closely with the fairies and forests and stuff like that, and can also have some trickster qualities to it. I don't know how much of this is actually intended, but that's what I'm pulling from it. Oh, liar. Oh, well, we don't, okay. Look, I feel a lot of things about Rachel, but I'm not going to resort to just simple name calling. I wonder if Rachel in some way knows that Bomb is special and that he is the one that the tower wanted, and if she like forced her way in his place or wanted to take his place in some way, and that's part of why she kind of puts him down. Because if she tells him like, you're not chosen, you have to stay here, you're not allowed to be part of this world, he's gonna believe it because he's very naive from not having memories or experiences and stuff. If she knows that she can control him that way, then it'll be a lot easier for her to like take that space because she wants it so badly. Yeah, see that amazement and that excitement of where she is completely pulled back now, because the reality of where she is in the world of like what the tower actually is that it doesn't want her. Is this where a deal has been made? I'm assuming, because she wanted to go up the tower so badly. What's her test gonna be? Oh, similar thing with the eel? Or is it gonna have a slightly different reason behind it? I like how we're kind of a full circle moment where we've ended up with the same kind of story as the beginning, but from Rachel's perspective. Yep, just pop the ball. It'll be fine. But she's not gonna have Lady Yuri there to like step in like we had before, I'm assuming. I don't want to not trust Lady Yuri. I like how immediately she's like, this isn't fair, and almost like talking out of it, like if she can convince him not to make her do it, whereas like Bomb was like, okay, I'll do it. You know, like the difference of both of them being faced with adversity is that Bomb put into those situations, he so strongly wants what he's going after that he just deals with the situation and like continues to move forward, and in a way that's kind of part part of the naivete of that, like, he doesn't, like I said before, he isn't like a confrontational person really, so he doesn't want to like go against what people are just telling him, or like if someone tells him to do something, he'll just do it. He's not going to argue about it, whereas we've seen kind of a switch to that where he's a little bit more willing to stand up for himself and his beliefs and opinions and stuff like that, whereas like Rachel immediately is like, I am being wronged and I need to like be treated fairly or be acknowledged that I am chosen or I belong here or that kind of a thing. She's immediately trying to like shift the situation into her favor without even trying. But I think it's interesting, if she really wanted to go up the tower so bad and to see the stars as much as she says she does, why isn't she willing to risk her life for it? Just a question to put out there. So you want to live more than you want to live the life you've envisioned for yourself. Like, it's more important to you to survive in general, even if it's in a place that you don't like, than to get the thing that you want. Interesting. It is a real chance. It's not a fair chance, but no one said the tower or life was fair, but it is a chance. Ooh, this is interesting though. Is it Bomb closely after? Was Rachel there when that happened? Now I'm curious. Ooh, she is though. So I'm guessing she was there while Bomb was taking the test. Or did she get kicked out? In which case, how did we get back in the tower? Again, who did we make a deal with? Okay. I'm like trying to not freak out too much of the fact that she was like there the whole time that Bomb was taking this test and he was like trying to find her. She's just been here lurking the whole time. I'm very upset with her. Yeah, he did. He cares that much, and you're just gonna betray him anyway. Yep, he's really gonna take the test because it matters that much to him. He is willing to risk his life for being with Rachel, for whatever reason. Interesting that she feels so strongly about this. Part of me wants to believe that it's because she cares about Bomb's life because they're friends-ish. But another part of me is thinking like, if he takes the test, then he gets to go up the tower. She's given up on that chance. So Bomb's gonna, you know, like I said, take her place in her head. He's gonna be able to keep going because he has something that she doesn't. And I feel like that might be part of why she is telling him to stop and not take the test. I want to believe better, but I also don't trust anything she does as just being like genuine empathy for other people right now. I'm still mad. We're gonna end there, but I don't know why she is still in the tower. I feel so many things. I feel like Rachel must have made a deal with somebody, and before I was like, maybe it was Hung Sung because she injured her legs and was paralyzed and wanted to make some deal to be able to continue up the tower on her own, and made a deal to kill Bomb during the test because he's an irregular and people seem to be put out about that, and that would be the exchange. But now we're seeing this flashback of her not even being chosen to go into the tower. We've kind of spent the majority of this season up to this point believing that Rachel was originally chosen by the tower, but it seems like in fact it was Bomb, which does that make him still an irregular? Or does that make Rachel an irregular? Which is something I don't really want to think about because irregulars are really scary in all the stories that we've heard. So we're seeing her in this flashback not actually getting permission to be in the tower and not taking the test, which I think is interesting because if going up the tower is that important to her, as important as she has said, then why isn't she willing to put her life on the line for that? I feel like a lot of the people who are in the tower and going up the tower understand that risking their life is part of getting what they want, especially for people who like know a lot about what the tower is. So I'm not saying that Rachel necessarily had to know that going in because she's like read about stuff in books or kind of heard tales of what it's like to go into the tower. But the fact that she, when push comes to shove, was like, no, this isn't fair. I shouldn't have to risk my life to get what I want, to go into the tower. I feel like she just doesn't understand the risks of it. And the fact that she isn't willing to risk her life for it, I think says a lot about her actual motivation. I think she wants to be special. I think that that's the real motivation, is she wants to be chosen. She wants to be someone who is chosen and proven to be special, and that is why she's able to leave this life that she dislikes so much, is because she's more important than the people that get stuck there. And her not being chosen, not being special, means that, you know, instead she's gonna have to work to be there, to be allowed in the tower in this group of people, and it's not something that's just gonna be given to her, and she's not going to be, you know, given a real chance, a fair chance. She's just gonna be given the same chance as everybody else. And the fact that she's then watching Bomb not only be willing to risk his life and like work to get what he wants, but he's gonna succeed. We know that from reading the chapter. He's going to be successful in this particular test. So her like seeing Bomb replacing her in that instance and proving to be special and getting to go into the tower, getting all the things that she wants, I think puts in a little more perspective of why she ended up betraying him and why there's always been this distance between them when we've seen them interact, because I think she's a little resentful. I think she's upset that Bomb gets to be special and gets to go after what he wants, and she has to work harder for it. So I don't know who she made a deal with. I don't know if it was Heden. I feel like it probably was, because that's the floor that we're on right now, and he seems to like to shake things up, especially if he is so against Bomb being there. Okay, so Bomb's still an irregular. Thank you, Pine. Yeah, I mean, like, Heden doesn't like irregulars, so that makes sense if Bomb is still an irregular, even though the tower is like, let him in, because again, the tower is to find dangerous people, right? That was something that has come up multiple times, is that the tower is to like find those dangerous people and put a stop to them, put them through tests, get them into this system where they can be a little bit more controlled or managed. We know that Heden wants to get rid of irregulars, especially Bomb. We know that he doesn't like Bomb, so I definitely believe that he would make a deal with Rachel to have her betray Bomb and end up resulting in his death, because Rachel doesn't have the same talent as Bomb does, so she's less dangerous than he is, and the lesser of two evils from Heden's perspective. So I'm assuming that that's probably what happened. And while I can kind of understand Rachel's motivation a little bit more, I'm still mad, and I still want to know where Bomb is. But I guess that'll have to wait until the last couple of chapters of the season, and I'm not okay. Those chapters, like, I knew as we got closer to the end of the season that the chapters were only going to get more intense. I was not ready for the emotions that I was going through, and I know that people tried to warn me in the comments. I was not ready, so I'm gonna try and process through some things before getting. I hope that the last couple chapters are like closing off a few things, but I hope that they don't put me through quite as much emotional distress as Rachel betraying Bomb. That's all I hope for. Will it happen? I don't know, but I can dream. You can click this playlist to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so you miss next time I post a Tower of God reaction, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!